Real estate marketing is easier than it's ever been. It's been a huge year for QR codes since the pandemic. What I want to do today is I want to share with you 11 different ways that you can effectively use QR codes as a real estate agent. You know, QR codes are really kind of an interesting case study on how applications of things can really become in vogue, I guess you could say. You know, QR codes were created a long time before the pandemic, but when the pandemic came, all of a sudden they got everything wanted to go touchless. So now we're accustomed to going into a restaurant and pulling up the menu on our phone through a QR code. There's so many different applications, and now we can utilize them in our real estate business. I'm going to give you these 11 different ways, but let me give you a little bit of a background. If you're wondering how to create QR codes, you can do it in Canva. There's a number of different places. Just simply go to Google and just ask it to give you a list of QR code creators, and you're going to see some of those. We're also going to have down in the comments below on this video where you can see a couple of different places that you could go as well. The bottom line is this: they're here to stay. There's something that we can use as a tool to continue to gather leads, to direct traffic to our website, to utilize in a way that helps us grow our business. So let me get into these. All right, so let me start with this. One of the biggest things that we want to do when we're in real estate, obviously, is to have a lead capture capability where we're continuously having a steady flow of new leads coming into our business. So I'm going to give you an example of how we do this. This is not necessarily for lead capture for me, but it's just a distribution of some of these videos. So when I speak, sometimes what I'll do is I'll have a QR code that I'll have where people can go and get either the slides from that presentation or they can get some type of a prompt. I'll give you an example and so you can see this in real time. So if you wanted to get 40 ChatGPT prompts that every real estate agent should be using right now, you'll see this QR code right here. That's going to take you to a page. When you get there, you're going to see this. But basically what we did is we attached this to a Google form that basically asks for an email address and name. Once it has that, then it opens that up and emails that to you or gives it the capability for you to see those things immediately. Now what it's done is on the back end is it's actually getting the email address. It's forwarding to our constant contact that we keep, that email address, where it's basically like an opt-in. And then on a weekly basis, we send out an email with videos, the video of the week that we had published, also an article that I'd written for Inman, also the podcast episode over on the Real Estate Sales Podcast. So it acts as something as a way for us to get more distribution on some of the content that we're producing. For you, this is what it could look like. You could have these, and no matter what it is, we're going to talk about some different ways to do this, but it captures that lead that then will be set up to receive your weekly or monthly or whatever it is for you, monthly email that you're sending out as far as a newsletter or for updates on properties, or you're just listed. And now what you're doing is you're building an email list of people that you can market your business to, keep in touch about the real estate market, and it continues to grow the leads that you have in your business. The second way to use these QR codes is on property signage. Now listen, still the best billboard we've got is a for sale sign in the front yard with having our phone number, having our contact information, having property flyers. But why not have on your real estate sign a QR code that is directing someone to whatever it is you want to direct them to? Again, if you're going to use this, you can have some of these QR codes where you can change what it is that where you're directing that. That might be what you want to do on a signage, because that way you could direct it directly to some information about that property. Or you could just have one that is a stagnant one that's going to drive people to your website or drive people to a page that's going to have all of your active listings. Whatever it is, the advantage of using QR codes on the signage is that it gives you the ability to capture leads that may just be driving by your property or may have curiosity about the property, and they're not going to pick up the phone and call you, but they may take a look. Gives that opportunity for you to take it to a little different level, market yourself a little bit different way, and potentially grab additional leads as well. Third use is to have a QR code that is directing people to a home financing calculator. Now, a lot of websites do this. I know with Boomtown, we have this where we have a page. We could direct them to our website, and it gives them the ability to start doing that process and then comes in and captures them as a lead. Whatever it is, giving people what they're looking for, making it easy for them, having this where you could direct them to the place where they could understand what the monthly payment might look like. This is a great way for you to have an opportunity to capture leads that if they're calculating a mortgage, those are hot potential buyers. Make it easy for them with that home calculator, with that QR code, and you're going to gain some additional leads. Another great way is to create home searches for neighborhoods on your website and have the QR code directing it there. And let's talk about this a little bit. Maybe it's something that you're doing where you're out there actively geographically farming a neighborhood. What if you were to have a QR code on the flyer that you sent out that would direct them to all the active homes that are for sale in that neighborhood? Maybe this is something where you're posting this on social media. Maybe this is something where you're directing traffic, showing yourself as the market expert. A little extra one on this. If you're in a neighborhood and you're doing those neighborhoods, why not go out and buy the QR code that simply says whatever the name of that neighborhood is, homes for sale. So let me show you what this looks like. Let's imagine that you're out there and you're geographically farming Live Oak subdivision for whatever that is. Then we would go in and we'd just simply buy the URL on GoDaddy or any of these sites. That would be Live Oak Subdivision homesforsale.com. Now this is going to cost us $10 to $15 a year, maybe depending on how many years you buy this for. But what we do then is then we point that to our website where we have the ability for people to see active homes there. So not only do we have the QR code, but if they're watching it on mobile and they can't pull that up, say you can also just simply go to Live Oak Subdivision homesforsale.com, and that'll direct them to that capture page as well. Additional ways that we can utilize the QR code as well as take it to a little bit different level. Number 5 is have a QR code that is directing traffic to downloadable guides, something that gives someone some value that maybe helps them. Maybe it's checklist even. So let's talk about what some of these guides could be, because these are something that you could write or you could go find that someone's written for you and utilize them that way. Obviously, as a Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, we have the advantages of having Alan Dalton, who has written a number of these guides and that are available. Some of those are like the real estate lifestyle planning guide that he wrote that is tremendous. Also, we have moving with pets. We have moving when it's time to downsize. We have moving with children. All of these are different things for different people that are in different parts of the cycle of purchasing or considering purchasing or selling real estate. So this is a great way to have those things in a QR code. Now, where we can utilize these, I'm going to get to in just a minute. But think about being at an open house. Having these guides printed is one thing, and having them sitting out where people could just simply grab one, because as they grab them, you'd understand what it is. But if you had different QR codes set out, it gives you the ability to not only give them the information, but it also gives you the ability to be able to capture them as a lead if you decide to do it that way. Having guides, having checklists, having things in the processes that you have, this is a great way to have a lead magnet that gives something of value out into the marketplace, utilizing QR codes in a number of ways that gives you the ability to really begin that relationship on a good foot with these potential buyers. Next up is property flyers, whether that be in take one boxes, whether that be that you're sitting out at open houses, or maybe you're distributing wherever it is that you're distributing your property flyers about specific properties. I always thought about some of the most valuable space in real estate was the back of these flyers, because listen, we're going to talk about the primary home that we're doing this flyer for on the front, but a lot of times the back of that page is just blank. Why not add some QR codes for either additional listings where you're driving traffic to those, and we're going to talk about some of those specifically in just a second, or having some of those downloadable guides, having checklists, having a link to your home financing calculator page, whatever it is that you're doing, but utilizing the back of that flyer page, to that property flyer page specifically, to utilize this in a way that you add value in a different and a new and a fresh way. Utilize that space, and I promise it's going to help you. Another great place to use QR codes is on your business cards. Now, this could be for a number of different things. If where you're primarily communicating with your clients is a mailing list, have it where it is going to that QR code that's going to drive them to where they can sign up for your monthly email newsletter. Or maybe it's something where you're driving all your traffic to Instagram. Have it where it just directs to your Instagram page. Maybe it's YouTube, directly to YouTube. Maybe it's just simply a video. You're driving into a video that tells a little bit about why you love this business or the value you add to the marketplace. Whatever it is, utilizing that space on a business card, because now people are getting accustomed to utilizing this, gives you the ability to take it from just meeting them to having that business card checking you out at a different level and beginning to build that relationship. Another great way to do this that's not necessarily a guide would be a local service provider guide. So think about it this way. A lot of people that are moving into a new neighborhood, or people that have needs in a neighborhood, may not know a plumber. They may not know a landscaper. They may not know someone that can work on their AC, or be someone that could clean a house or help them with whatever it is they want to have. Do you have a list of local service providers that you kind of know about, that you approve, or that have done good work for you? I would encourage, if you don't, make sure you get one of those. But utilizing QR codes is another great way to have this available where it could capture leads for you. Everybody wants to know who they could utilize that's been kind of maybe gone through the process where someone has checked them out before, and you're kind of giving your stamp of approval here. Again, you want to make sure these are people that you would recommend, but when you do this, you're building a list of people that are definitely people are going to want to know about, that are moving into your area or that are considering moving into your area. This is another great way to just add value into the marketplace, and every time I've ever done that, it always comes back. Next up is developing a QR code that would direct people to a video walkthrough of a house, or maybe the floor plans or whatever it is that you want on a specific property. Again, Again, this is where we would utilize these is on the front of our floor plans. Maybe if we're doing shorter form content, we would put that in the short form video. Maybe it's something that we could utilize as we're out or we're using on the back of those property flyers where we're just giving addresses of properties with QR codes to drive them to that information. Well, how are we going to utilize this? This is a great way to continue to keep people in the loop of seeing your content, of seeing you adding value, of seeing you doing things a little bit differently. When you do things different, you get different results. Another great place to use QR codes is to develop one that will drive people to the review sites that you're looking to get reviews on. We know that we're in the review economy. We know we want more of these. Make it easy for people to give you reviews by creating a QR code that drives them to whichever one you want. Are you wanting to increase your reviews on your Google business profile page? Then make sure you're getting that where it's easy for them to do so. Realtor.com, Zillow, whatever it is for you, your website, wherever it is that you're trying to direct traffic to get those reviews, use the QR code to make it easy for them. Last but not least is to utilize an email signature line. Listen, if you're sending out 50, 100, sometimes even 1,000 different emails, depending on what you're doing on a weekly basis, why not utilize your signature line to have a QR code to drive people wherever it is that you want to drive them? Again, it could change over time, but do you want to drive people to your website? Have that QR code where it makes it easy for them. Do you want to have more reviews? Put it in there. Do you want to have a video that talks about who you are and how you serve? Do you want to specifically give them value, like a mortgage calculator that you want to drive them to? Whatever it is, utilize that space. You're sending these emails out. Why not make it easier for them to get to wherever it is you'd like for them to go? I hope this has been helpful, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching the video. I specifically chose the video below for you because it builds on the one you just watched. I hope it's helpful, and I'll talk to you soon.